Hi there, welcome back once again. In today's video, I'm gonna solve 10 most commonly tested algebra concepts by using DESMOS graphing calculator. This question covers all the basic foundations, fundamentals what you need to have for better score in your upcoming SAT Math exam. So now let's start with the question 1 here. It says that how many solution does the equation have? So they have given us an equation. This equation have how many solution? And if you look into the option, it says that exactly one solution, exactly two solution, infinitely many, or zero solution. You should be knowing the definition of each options to answer these kind of questions. So when do we say a system of equation or a given equation has exactly one solution? Imagine that you are plotting a graph of this equation. Let's take like this. The graph of this equation is representing like this, and graph of another equation you are plotting it separately. Okay, it's like this. As long the two, the lines of these equations intersect at one point, these kind of relation between that equations are said to be they have one solution. So one solution meaning the graph of the lines are intersecting at one point. Similarly, exactly two solution meaning the graphs of the equations intersecting at 2 points. So for example, one graph is something like this, another one is like this. As they can meet it at 2 points, this condition is said to be they have two solutions. Now what is the condition for infinitely many solution? When we are plotting a graph of those equations separately, graph represents the same line. Means to say, this is the graph of the first equation, imagine, and this is the graph of the second equation. As these two graphs are overlapping or which represents the same line, that condition we say infinitely many solution. Now what is the zero solution then? Zero solution is basically the graph of those equation results to be a parallel. Zero solution or no solution, which means the same. After plotting the graph of individual equations, the line of those are relating it as a parallel, and parallel lines never cross each other, so we say zero solution, or we also say another condition called no solution. So this is what the definition of each options. Now how do I use a DESMOS to do so? As I told, plot this graph independently. So that is, just type it as 10 in a bracket 15x minus 9, close the bracket. I'm getting some graph for it. Enter negative 15 in the bracket 6 minus 10x, close the bracket. What I can observe, both graph representing the same line. You can see. So as long the both graph represents the same line, you can clarify by clicking here. This is the graph of the first line which is showing in the blue in color, and this is the graph of the second equation which is green in color. Both are representing on top of each, so it has this condition, and this condition we use the word they have infinitely many solution. You can solve it by just distributing and checking their coefficient, but today I'm gonna cover mainly usage of DESMOS graphing calculator. There are multiple ways to solve, okay, so whichever the best you feel, you can go with that. What system of linear equations is represented by lines shown? So the graph has been given to us. For this graph, which of the following is the system of linear equations representing that? Now how do we solve this kind of questions? It's completely a part of DESMOS. So just remember few points. So you have to look at some reference point on the graph for the given thing. What I can observe here is x intercept of this line is 8, meaning the lines which are crossing x axis is at 8. So keep this any reference point so that when you are typing each options on the DESMOS, which options graph matches with this, that will be the answer. Now let's start with option A. So it says that 8x plus 4y equals to 32. So what I can see, 8x plus 4y equals to 32, and what I can observe, x intercept, the line where is crossing x axis is 4, but graph of the given line is crossing at 8, so this cannot be the answer. Once the one equation won't get true, then don't check for another, because both equations should satisfy the same condition. Now try with the second one, which is option B. 8x minus 4y equal to 32. Just change this plus sign to minus sign, check. It's going in opposite way to the graph, so you can see here. So this won't be the answer. Then now let's check with option C. What option C says? 4x minus 10y equals to 32. So that is 4x minus 10y equals to 32. Sorry, this is in the same way like option B, because lines are going in the opposite way. They're supposed to go like this, but it is oppositely. So C is also not true. Then only option left is option D. So no need of checking whether it is right or wrong. As long 3 options are incorrect, 100% fourth option has to be correct. There is a one option always correct out of 4, and we found it. So that's how questions can be asked. Which of the following could be an equation for the graph shown in the xy plane below? Graph has been given and they are asking us to predict its equation. Now, as I say always, you have to read a graph first carefully. The main important thing is you have to look at the intercepts. So I can see that this is the y-intercept and this is the x-intercept. What is the value? Observe very carefully. Y-intercept has been graded with 1, means each increment is by 1. So if this is 1, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is y-intercept of the line, which is going to be 4. So that is same as B. Generally, Fred equation of a line is y equals to mx plus b, where m represents the slope and b represents y-intercept. So I can see that y-intercept is 4. So line should cross y-axis at 4. So by keeping that one in mind, I go out of option A and option D. Why? Because they are saying that y-intercept as 8. This is also saying y-intercept as 8. Now answer may be either B or C, because both has y-intercept. Then what should I do now? If you know how to find out a slope, well, you can do it. Or else if you don't know, then you can use the DESMOS again. Type any one of the option. For example, I am typing option B. It says that y equals to negative 3 by 2 x plus 4. What I can observe, this line crossing x-axis at 2.6666 and y-axis is 4. Fine, y-axis is fine, same for both, but x-axis here it is crossing, that is x-intercept is 2.6666. But what is the actual x-intercept of the given graph? This coordinate point is representing 2, means this is the increment of 2. See, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So x-intercept, that is the graph should cross x-axis at 12, but unfortunately this is showing at 2.66. So B cannot be the answer. Only option left is C. You can put it in the calculator and see, definitely it will cross at 12. So that is how you look into the graph, use the equation to solve by type the equation in the DESMOS and predict the most appropriate with it. Which of the following numbers is not a solution of the inequalities 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to 4x minus 3? Now what is the condition for not being a solution? Now let's try to understand here. Imagine a graph of inequality plotted in xy plane. Suppose the graph of inequality is plotted something, this is the line, and the graph is plotted something like this. I'm just taking roughly. When do I say a given values have a solution and not a solution? Any values of x and y, any point which lies in the range of graph anywhere, any point within the range of graph, those all point has a solution. So this is, keep it in mind, that's the meaning of having solution of graph of inequalities and not having solution. Any point which are in the range of graph, they are solution, and any point which is outside the range of graph, we say they have no solution. So that is the definition, and you should know what does it mean. Without knowing this, you cannot solve it on DESMOS. Once you know the definition, when do I say it has a solution, it has no solution, then rest is type it on the DESMOS, this whole equation, and check it out. So what this equation is saying, 3x minus 5, which is greater than or equal to, I am using this inequality sign, 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to, so let me just check, yes, 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to, let me just minimize this, 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to 4x minus 3. Now it's showing you some graph, and check it out. Graph is from where, if you can zoom out and see what actually happening, from where to where it is. Oh, I think it came too much. Okay, I can see that value of x from -2 up to -infinity, because it's shaded on the left side, means it's true up to -infinity. So value of x from -2 up to -infinity is solution. It means -2 is a solution, -3, -5, or any number which is lesser than -2, all are solution of this. But question says which of the following is not a solution. It meaning choose a point which is not a part of that graph. So -1 will be somewhere over here, you can see. So -1 will be somewhere over here, which is representing outside the graphical range. So this value of x is not a solution. Anything -2, -3, -5, all are in the graphical region, so it is a solution. Not solution means option A is the right answer here. Next question says, in the given system of equations, R is a constant. If the system has no solution, what is the value of R? So for system of equations, when do we say a given system has no solution? As I already explained, no solution meaning the result of those two system of equation should give a parallel line. Parallel line never gonna cross or touch with each other. That's why we say parallel line has no solution. So keep it in mind. These are all some definition you should know. Then only you can use a DESMOS and solve. So now what should I do now? Type these equations as it is on the DESMOS and check it out for what value of R the graphs of these two equation turns to be parallel. Type it the way how it is given, 48x minus 72y equals to 30y plus 24. That's the one of the graph what I can see here. Enter ry, type it as it is, equals to 1 by 6 negative 16x. As we are asked to solve for y, automatically when you are typing something apart from x and y, DESMOS asks you to add slider, meaning put a range of values of R so that I can meet the given condition. So when you put it as a slider, as you can see here, just press, just click on it, it gives you the range of value to be added. It will ask you to range of value to be added. Just take from -10 to +10 or -100 to +100. It's like I'm saying that I'm predicting the value of R could be between this range. Minimum it could be -100, maximum +100. So you can choose it any values like this, okay? And step size, meaning when we are increasing R or changing the value of R, by what point it should increase. So generally I keep step size as 0.1. You can also keep it as 1, 0.01, 2, whatever. But this is the ideal which I consider. Now what you have to do is, you have to you have to change the values of R by using this slider. This is called a slider. When you change the value of R here and there, you can see that graph changes. Now you have to change this one in a way that this line should be parallel to the blue one. So for what value of R it turns to be parallel? As you can see, as we are moving towards negative, the line is turning towards parallel. I can see here, this is not a parallel. What I can observe, see, it is meeting somewhere. So now, but when you take negative, let's see, negative 34, I can see that yes, it is representing parallel. As you see, it's showing a parallel like this. If you, now let's check for the negative 35 how we are able to see. Now try changing little bit. So is it a parallel? Is it a parallel? If it is so, see, somewhere it is meeting, somewhere there is a gap, they are not parallel. Then from this one I can conclude that negative 34 is the value of r for which line turns to be parallel, as you can see. So value of r here supposed to be negative 34. This is how you type it on the DESMOS, use a slider, change its value and predict the right answer. But before that, you should know the meaning of when do I say given system of equation has no solution, line, that is line when the lines are parallel. These kind of questions are very commonly tested in SAT because they ask you to create an equation for the situation. Sometimes they ask you to create and solve. This is an example of that. It says that a movie theater sells two type of tickets, adult tickets for $12 and child tickets for $8. If the theater sold 30 tickets for a total of $300, how much in dollars was spent on adult tickets? Disregarding the dollar sign when grading your answer, means while writing here, don't put a dollar sign, just write the number. So we are asked to find how much a ticket, company earned or sold adults ticket and what amount they earn of it. So as you can clearly see, two types of tickets we are selling. Movie theater selling. Adult tickets, if I say a theater is selling X number of adult tickets and Y number of child tickets, according to the equation, according to the question, as they say that total number of tickets sold by a theater is going to be 30, that is number of adult tickets plus number of child tickets is equal to 30. When I am saying total, means add, okay, and what amount they earned. Each adult ticket costs $12 and X number of adult tickets were sold. So what is the total earning from selling adults ticket? That is 12 times X plus what is the total amount earning from the child's ticket? 8 times Y. So 8 times Y, that is each ticket cost $8 and there are Y number of tickets sold. Combinedly, the earning of that both the ticket is 300. We got an equation now. It's a system of equation in two variable. Once you create it, rush to DESMOS, type it and choose the values of X and Y. But question asking you what amount they earned. It's not just value of how many tickets they sold. So type it. It's gonna be X plus Y equal to 30. 12x plus 8y equals to 300. So what is the graph where those both the graphs are intersecting with each other? Those are the point of number of tickets. We are considering x. As you can see that a common point for the system of equations, common intersecting point is the solution. So x value is 15, y value is 15. So we can say that company sold 15 adult tickets and 15 child tickets. But question says how much in dollars was spent on adult ticket. So each adult tickets cost $12 and there were 15 adults ticket were sold. Now what they earn, amount they earn by selling that adult ticket, it's gonna be 12 times 15. So what are we gonna get? 12 times 15, it's gonna be 180. So that is 12.15 is equals to $180. So out of 300, $180 were earned by selling adult tickets and the remaining were by selling child's ticket. So this is how you need to make an equation, then use a DESMOS to find its values. Which of the following order pairs of x comma y is a solution to the system of inequalities above? So here we are given a system of inequalities, that is y is less than or equal to x and y is less than or equal to negative x. for this inequalities, which of the order pair is a solution? As I already told you, any coordinate point which is lying in the graphical region, it's called a solution, and any point which is outside the graphical region has no solution. And when we have two graphs putting together, common region will be the solutions for the given system of inequalities. Now let's try here. What we are getting? One is y is less than x. This is the graph of that part. Enter. Another one is y is less than or equal to negative x. Now what I can observe, we are getting two graphs whose commonly shaded in this way. Now which is the common region? You can see this is the region, a shaded graph for the first equation, and this is the shaded graph for the second equation. The common region, whatever you are seeing here, this region, so common region which is showing in the dark is the solution for the given systems. Now which points lie on this common region is the solution. So how do we do that? Type these coordinate points, just enter and type, put it in the bracket like how the way it has been shown, 1, 0, where that 1, 0 is lying only in the one graph, so it is not a solution. For system of graphing with inequalities, point in the common region is the solution, I said, but here it is only in the one graph, it is not a solution. Enter. Next is -1, 0, where it is -1, 0 is also in the one graph only. Enter. Third option is 0, 1, where it is 0, 1 is the point which is showing somewhere over here. This is also not true. Then only option left is D. So how it is gonna be? You can see that 0, -1. So where that 0, -1 is, you can see this is the point which is lying in the both common region. So this point will be having solutions. For inequalities, if there is only one graph is shown and the point which is in that region will be the solution, but if there are two graphs, you have to select a common region for that, and point which lies in the common region is the solution. So 1, -1 is lying in the common region, so this is the solution of system of inequalities. Next question is, a website uses the formula above to calculate sellers rating R based on the number of favorable reviews F and unfavorable reviews N. Which of the following expresses the number of favorable reviews in terms of other variable? So this is an equation or expression has been given, and they are asking you to solve for favorable reviews in terms of other variable like R and N. So most of the students get confused to rearranging the expressions, and they don't even understand what question is asking and what they're supposed to do. If you also have this kind of confusion, so look into the option very carefully, and from the option what I can understand that we have to solve for F from this, means try to make F separate, solve in terms of R and N. So one way is by rearranging the terms by doing cross multiplication and taking common factor and all. Another way, as we are working on DESMOS, so how do we do that? As we have two letters, two variable, one is R and one is N. What you can do, take any values for R and take any values for N. I am saying take any values, avoid taking zeros and ones because they could give a most common answers. Avoid taking zeros and 1. Apart from that, you can take any value, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 or any favorite number. If you guys have any lucky number, favorite number, you can take. Let me take R as 2 and N as 5. I'm just taking like randomly. Now what I do, after putting R as 2, N as 5, what answer I get it here for F, and you have to type F, whichever the expression we supposed to find, you have to type it as X in the DESMOS. So carefully type it and see what answer you gonna get. This is what we are doing. So type it as 2 equals to, I'm just typing this equation, okay, X divided by N value we have taken it as 5 plus X. What is the value of X we are getting? Check it out. we are getting a value of x as something negative 10. As you can see, value of x here is gonna be negative 10, means here I am getting a value of x as negative 10, which is same as value of f. Now how do we check options? Put the value of r as 2 and n as 5 and check it out which option gives me the same answer as x to be negative 10. It's just by trial error. So enter. Let me start with first option, that is x equal to what it is, division 2 times 5. It's a multiplication, okay, because I'm typing the first option, that is x equal to r into n divided by r value, which is 2 minus 1. What answer I am getting? I am getting it as 10. Yes, 2 minus 1, I am getting it as 10, but I have to look at answer as negative 10. Don't be confused. I have to get a same answer as what I got, but here I am getting positive 10, so this is wrong. Next, go to the next option. You can just change. Option B says Rn divided by 1 minus, that is, you can type it as 1 minus 2. I am getting answer as negative 10. Yes, whatever answer I got it here, for substituting these values, same answer giving me for option B. So this is the answer. This is by choosing any number. If there are 3 other letters, you can take any number you want, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, put it in expression, whichever the unknown, as we have f is unknown, so I am assigning it to x. Solve it in the same way rather than rearranging. You can directly do on DESMOS. If you guys are good at rearranging and simplifying and all, we can go with that one also, but this is also another way to solve. Now let's do the last question here. Which expression is equivalent to this weird kind of expression? Whenever they ask you to which expression is equivalent to, what you're supposed to do is type this expression as it is in the DESMOS and check it out how its graph looks, and each option also typing in the same way how it is given, which two options graph matches, which options graph matches with the original graph, that is the equivalent. So here we can type it as it is 4 by 4x minus 5. I'm just typing the way how it is, minus 1 divided by x plus 1. This is the graph of original expression. Now enter. Try to match up with the graph of each option. So option A says 9 divided by what it is, x plus 1 times 4x minus 5. Yes, I can see that exactly matching with the original one. So how do you check it? Blur this one. This was the original graph, and when you make it shown, this is the graph of this second expression. Both are matching, so definitely this is your answer. If it couldn't match, then try with option B. If couldn't, try with option C. Then finally, if not A, B, C are matching, then definitely D is your answer. Like this you have to do. But this was a simple expression, but that's why I was trying to do it on DESMOS. But sometimes they give you an expression where different power of x and y. For example, 6x to the power 8, 5y to the power 4 something. Rather than putting in the DESMOS and checking in that way, there you need to have a technique of combining like terms, taking a common factors and all. That would help you rather than typing and checking on the DESMOS. Alright, that's it. These are the 10 most important commonly tested concepts on digital SAT math. If you like this video, then please do share and subscribe to my channel, and also click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new videos, you will be notified. See you guys in the next class. All the best.